The human body and mind, nature's perfect machine or a flawed system. Your body is a machine. Every breath, every heartbeat, every electrical impulse firing through your neurons, it is all part of a system that has been fine-tuned over billions of years. You are an intricate network of cells, tissues, and organs, working together with a level of precision that seems almost miraculous. Your body repairs itself, regulates temperature, processes food into energy, and even grows new life. Your brain, with its billions of neurons, is the most complex structure known in the universe. It controls your movements, your thoughts, your emotions, yet most of this happens without your awareness. But here's the paradox. For all its brilliance, the human body is deeply flawed. You get tired. You forget things. You feel pain and fear. Your spine is inefficiently curved. Your eyesight deteriorates. Your bones weaken. And no matter how well you take care of yourself, your body inevitably breaks down. Aging, disease, decay, it is all built into the system. If the human body is a machine, why does it come with so many inefficiencies? Why do we experience suffering? And if we are nothing more than biological mechanisms, how do we explain the mystery of consciousness? For centuries, scientists and philosophers have struggled with the question, is the human body a perfect biological machine, or just a flawed evolutionary system that merely survives rather than thrives? And beyond that, how does the universe itself shape the way this machine functions? We tend to think of our bodies as separate from the cosmos, but in reality, the forces that govern the universe also govern us. Gravity, for example, is not just something that keeps planets in orbit, it is shaping your body right now. Every morning, when you wake up, you are slightly taller than you were the night before. That's because gravity compresses your spine throughout the day. Astronauts, when freed from Earth's gravitational pull, experience muscle atrophy and bone loss. Evidence that our bodies were designed for this specific planet, locked into a relationship with its gravitational field. Cosmic radiation, another force from deep space, bombards us constantly, affecting our DNA in ways we barely understand. The very particles that make up your body, the carbon in your bones, the iron in your blood, were forged in the hearts of dying stars billions of years ago. You are not separate from the universe. You are made of it, shaped by it, and affected by its unseen forces every second of your life. But if the body is connected to the universe, what about the mind? For thousands of years, thinkers have debated what exactly the mind is. Is it simply a function of the brain, an emergent property of neurons firing in complex patterns? Or is it something more? René Descartes believed in dualism, the idea that the body and mind are separate, one a physical machine, the other something beyond material existence. Today, modern neuroscience largely rejects this, instead arguing for physicalism, that consciousness is nothing more than the result of electrical and chemical activity in the brain. And yet, even as we map every neuron, scan every thought, and break down human cognition into measurable processes, there remains something we cannot explain. Philosopher David Chalmers calls this the hard problem of consciousness. Why do we experience reality at all? Science can explain how signals travel through neurons, but it cannot explain why we have subjective experience. Why does pain hurt? Why do we feel emotions rather than just react to stimuli? Why do we perceive colors, sounds, and memories as something real rather than as mere electrical patterns? Some physicists, like Roger Penrose, suggest that consciousness itself might be linked to the fabric of the universe, rooted in the strange and unpredictable world of quantum mechanics. Could it be that what we experience as thought is not entirely within the brain but something greater, something yet to be discovered? If we are just machines, why do we degrade over time? Evolution has shaped us not for longevity, but for survival and reproduction. Once we pass our prime reproductive years, nature has little use for us. This is why we age, why our bodies decay, why our biological programming turns against us. Aging is not a necessary function of life. It is simply a failure of evolution to perfect the machine. Scientists like Aubrey de Grey believe that aging itself could one day be treated like a disease. something to be prevented, slowed, or even reversed. If we could halt aging, what else could we modify? Could we upgrade ourselves beyond our natural design? Modern technology is already blurring the lines between human and machine. Cybernetic implants restore lost vision and hearing. Brain-computer interfaces like Elon Musk's Neuralink promise to merge human minds with artificial intelligence. Genetic engineering may soon allow us to eliminate disease, enhance intelligence, and reshape our own biology. But if we replace every part of ourselves with technology, at what point do we stop being human? Philosopher Ray Kurzweil predicts that we are heading toward a technological singularity, a moment when artificial intelligence surpasses human intelligence, and we are forced to merge with it to survive. If this happens, will we finally create the perfect human machine? Or will we lose the essence of what makes us human in the process? The human body is both incredible and flawed, a product of billions of years of trial and error. The mind remains an unsolved mystery, defying our understanding of physics and biology. The universe itself plays an unseen role in shaping our existence, from the way gravity compresses our bodies to the cosmic forces that influence our DNA. And as we advance technologically, we must ask, should we perfect the human body, or should we accept the flaws that make us who we are? Perhaps the true question is not whether we are machines, but whether we are machines that can change our own programming. If we can re-engineer the body and enhance the mind, will we still be human? Or will we become something else entirely? Maybe the answer is not in modifying the body, but in understanding the mind. Because if we ever unlock that mystery, we may not just understand ourselves. We may redefine what it means to be alive. If we are moving towards something entirely new, then the real question becomes, are we still evolving, or have we reached the end of biological evolution? Evolution, as we understand it, is driven by natural selection, random mutations that over generations either increase or decrease an organism's chances of survival. But humans have largely escaped the pressures of traditional natural selection. We have medicine to cure diseases, technology to compensate for physical weaknesses, and social structures that protect even the most vulnerable members of our species. So, if survival is no longer a random process, does evolution still apply to us? Some scientists argue that we are in a period of self-directed evolution, where the next major changes to the human species will not be driven by genetic mutation, but by technology, environment, and culture. Language, for example, has shaped the way our brains develop. The rise of digital communication has changed how we process information, reducing our reliance on memory while increasing our ability to search, retrieve, and verify knowledge. If technological augmentation continues, the next stage of evolution might not be a biological transformation, but a cognitive one, where humans gradually merge with their tools, becoming something that is neither fully organic nor fully synthetic. One of the most intriguing theories about human evolution comes from Terence McKenna's stoned ape hypothesis, which suggests that human intelligence may have been accelerated by psychedelic compounds consumed by early hominins. According to McKenna, ancient humans who experimented with mind-altering substances may have developed new patterns of thought, leading to greater creativity, complex language, and expanded awareness. If external substances had a role in shaping our brains in the past, could new substances, whether chemical, electronic, or artificial, continue to shape human cognition in the future? There is also the extended mind hypothesis, proposed by philosophers Andy Clark and David Chalmers, which argues that our intelligence is not confined to the brain. According to this theory, the mind extends into the environment, interacting with tools, technology, and other people in a way that fundamentally alters how we think and process information. A simple example is writing. By recording thoughts outside of the brain, humans have created a system that extends cognition beyond the biological mind. But with artificial intelligence, augmented reality, and direct brain-machine interfaces on the horizon, we may soon see the merging of mind and machine, not in a metaphorical sense, but as an actual neural integration. If intelligence can extend beyond the body, What about consciousness itself? Some theories in physics suggest that consciousness is not something that emerges from the brain, but something that already exists at a fundamental level of reality, a viewpoint known as panpsychism. According to this idea, consciousness might be woven into the fabric of the universe itself, existing in all things, from subatomic particles to entire galaxies. If this is true, then the human brain is not creating consciousness, but rather filtering and interpreting it, like an antenna tuning into a signal. This leads to an even stranger possibility. What if the human mind is not limited to one single reality? Some physicists argue that the many worlds interpretation of quantum mechanics suggests that we are living in a multiverse, a reality where every possible outcome of every decision exists in parallel. If consciousness is not confined to one timeline, could we one day develop the ability to perceive or access other versions of ourselves? There are even experiments that hint at the possibility that consciousness affects reality itself. Studies on the observer effect in quantum physics have shown that the mere act of observing a particle changes its behavior. This raises a profound question. Is human perception actively shaping the universe? If so, could it be that our consciousness is not just a passive experience, but a force that interacts with reality in ways we do not yet understand? One thinker who explored this idea was John C. Lilly, a neuroscientist and inventor who believed that the brain is a biocomputer, capable of programming and reprogramming itself. He conducted radical experiments using sensory deprivation tanks to isolate the mind from external stimuli, leading to altered states of consciousness where participants experienced profound insights, hallucinations, and even perceived communication with non-human intelligences. If the brain is a biological machine that can be hacked, could it be possible to alter our perception of reality itself through conscious intent? This brings us back to the question of self-modification. If we accept that the mind is programmable, that consciousness may not be confined to the brain, and that technology is extending our cognition, then where do we go from here? Could we one day upload our consciousness into an artificial system, creating an entirely new form of life? And what happens when we start building synthetic beings that are more intelligent than us? If we create AI that can think, feel, and experience the world, do they become conscious in the same way we are? Or would they develop an entirely different form of awareness, one that we might not even be capable of understanding? If artificial beings surpass human intelligence, they might not think in human ways at all. They may not experience emotions, time, or individuality in the way that we do. In fact, if an artificial superintelligence evolved beyond us, we might not even be able to recognize it as intelligence at all, just as an ant cannot comprehend the complexity of human civilization. And here's the most unsettling thought. What if this has already happened? What if humanity is not the pinnacle of intelligence, but merely an early-stage life form destined to be surpassed? Could the future of intelligence belong to non-biological beings, entities that are not bound by flesh, not limited by evolution, not even constrained by time? If intelligence is moving towards something more advanced, then we may be the bridge between biology and whatever comes next. So if we look at everything together, the body is a machine shaped by forces beyond our control. The mind is an evolving system, possibly extending beyond the physical brain. Consciousness remains one of the greatest mysteries of science, possibly connected to quantum mechanics, panpsychism, or alternate dimensions. Technology is leading us toward a new form of evolution, where intelligence might one day exist independently of biological life. And if all of this is true, then perhaps the greatest illusion is thinking that we are separate from the system that created us. We are not isolated minds trapped inside bodies. We are part of an ongoing process, a movement towards something greater than what we can currently imagine. If consciousness is evolving, if intelligence is merging with machines, if reality itself is shaped by the mind, then what comes next may not be post-human. It may be something beyond human, something that transcends the very idea of life as we know it. So the real question is not, what is the human body, or what is the mind? The real question is, what is intelligence becoming? And when we reach the next stage, will we still recognize ourselves at all?